Greetings everyone, and welcome back to another video in the iWish series, a series in which we investigate products that are primarily sold on Wish to see if they're any good. Most of the time they're not, but hey, you never know, we might get something good one day. Now the item that I'm going to be taking a look at today can be found on Wish, Amazon, eBay, all that sort of stuff, but I did pick mine up from Cash Converters, so I am missing some accessories that are included in the original bundle. Now this video may be a bit lengthy and I do ramble a lot, so there are timestamps in the description below, so you can use them to jump to a certain point in the video if you need to. You don't have to sit through the entire duration of the video, that is all good. But anyways, the item that we're having a look at today is very similar to one I've already reviewed. I'll card it up here if you want to take a look at it. A cheapo camera from Wish. Except there is a small tiny little problem and I'll get to that soon. But the item we are looking at today is the 4K video camera camcorder 48 megapixel image vlogging camera with Wi-Fi video camera for YouTube with microphone, remote control and touchscreen. And yes, you cannot see the price because I'm hiding that just for a moment. But as you can see in the picture, it is a 4K camcorder or video recorder, whatever you want to call it. So let me just take away that little piece over the price there, and there it is. This is a $499 camera that is sold on Wish, and that is in Australian with $17 shipping. I'll display a currency conversion chart on screen for you all, just so you know how much this thing costs. Now straight away, that's a big red flag. For something like this for $500, you can get a budget smartphone for around the $250 to $300 mark that can record in 4K and, you know, be used as a phone. This is a 48 megapixel camcorder, but it has some extra features. Now to back up the pricing, here is the same camera that's listed on Amazon Australia, and this one's called the 4K video camera, digital camcorder, video recorder, YouTube vlogging, Wi-Fi camera, 48 megapixel webcam for live streaming, Komari video camera, 16 times digital zoom with remote control. And this one is $372.86 Australian, and I'll display a currency conversion chart on screen for you all once again so you get a rough idea of how much this thing costs. Also, while we're on Amazon, I just want to show you the customer reviews, which is 4 stars out of 5. 59% of them are 5 stars. First one says the camera did not have the option to connect to computer to do lives. It was the only feature I needed, so it was returned. Do not recommend. Kathleen's not happy with it as well. Just Me is happy with it. Amy T's happy with it. And Amazon customer is also very happy with it. So is it going to turn out to be an excellent camera? Only time will tell. So as you can see in the picture, it's got a microphone attached to it, a remote control, and all that sort of stuff. But we're going to be focusing on the Wish listing for this video. So for the good price of $500, you do get the camera in the box, a dual battery charger, a lens hood, user manual, lens cap, DV bag, 2.4G remote control, 2 batteries, USB cable, HDMI cable, and a microphone. Because mine is secondhand from Cash Converters, I only have the camera, the bag, the battery of course, and the lens cap, but everything else is missing, which we don't really need, to be fairly honest. The next picture shows that it does time-lapse. It's got a self-timer and continuous shooting, which is all stuff that normal cameras can do, so that's all good. Now, this $500 camera can be used as a webcam. Very expensive webcam, but fair enough, go ahead. You can use it as a USB output, so use it as mass storage. And you can also connect it up to your TV to have a look at the photos and videos that you took with it and embrace the quality. Now, this claims that it does have infrared night vision. We'll get to that soon. There's also fill light off and fill light on, which is just a couple of LEDs that they've put in here. Basically, they've got this image of this cat and just brightened up one side and darkened the other side, that's it. But included in this picture is the lens hood, microphone, and the 4K camcorder, which, yeah, as I said, I don't have the lens hood or the microphone. Wi-Fi connection and 2.4G remote control. Everyone's looking happy there. Everyone's having a good old time. 360-degree remote control, and there is an app to use called XDV Pro for the Wi-Fi functionality. We'll have to take a look at the Wi-Fi part because I haven't tested it as of yet, so we'll see how that goes. 4K Ultra HD 4K video and 48 megapixel image. So this camera claims that it can record in 4K, in 1080p, 48 megapixel pictures with lens hood and 48 megapixel image without the lens hood, and you can see a considerable difference between pictures with lens hoods. But yeah, 4K and 48 megapixel from a camera that's sold on Wish and Amazon and all that sort of stuff. I don't know. What are you all thinking? Do you think this thing can pull it off? And the last image is just of the camera itself, but don't need to look at this too much further because we'll have a look at the camera very soon. But what we've got to talk about is the description. I'll display on screen here, which it says that it adopts the latest state-of-the-art upgraded chip. The camcorder produces extremely amazing, lifelike, realistic 4K videos and clear 48 megapixel images. The lens hood that included in the package can effectively block excess light and improve the overall color and contrast of the photos. I'm pretty sure that wouldn't help it. I'll just agree. Camcorder with Wi-Fi webcam. With the help of Wi-Fi function, you can easily browse or download files from the 4K video camera to your mobile phone from the app XDV Pro. The webcam feature of this vlogging camera allows you to use it on Skype, as well as live streaming on social media like YouTube, Facebook, and more. By connecting this video camera for YouTube via the HDMI cable included to a HD TV, you can play back videos in high definition. Infrared night vision, fill light, 360-degree remote control. Single press the power and get IR night vision mode to shoot black and white videos and images in darkness. Press it again to switch to full light mode, and now you you, can use the digital video camcorder in low light environment more efficiently. Comparing with the ordinary remote controls, the 2.4G remote control can operate the 4K camcorder from a 360-degree angle. Pause while recording in time-lapse, you can pause while recording a video and all that sort of stuff. Multifunctional 4K video camera. The 4K camcorder also supports and equipped with external microphone, 18x digital zoom, touchscreen, motion detection, continuous shooting, anti-shake, slow motion, self-timer, auto power, etc. 2 pieces of 1500 mAh batteries come with the camera and can be used while charging is on. No more worry about battery drain. If you have any issues with your camera within 1 year since the purchase date, get in touch and we'll be happy to make it right. And then they ask, why choose our 4K camcorder? Because it offers Ultra HD 4K video and a 48 megapixel image, which we already know, Wi-Fi, which we already know, the remote control, once again, a $500 webcam, fill light, self-timer, time-lapse, infrared night vision, 18x digital zoom, motion detection, external microphone, continuous shooting, pause while recording, HDMI output, 3-inch 270-degree rotatable touchscreen, support maximum 256 gig SD card, use while charging, and then we have the warm tips, which asks you to please use the adapter to make sure the battery can be charged properly. I had issues with the battery, I might explain that later on. It is recommended to use a branded class 10 SD card, and because I've put a standard SD card in mine, the camera continuously complains that I've got a slow SD card in it, but that's alright. You can press the power switch to switch between infrared night vision and fill light. Long press the up button to turn on Wi-Fi. Manual focus is not supported as the lens is fixed. Please make sure to make shooting distance above 3.28 feet or attach a micro lens for close-up shots. I hope you got that. This camera is $500 and does not support autofocus. Anyways, we've just got the other specifications showing the photo format, the image resolution ranging from 48 megapixels to 3 megapixels, MP4 video format that records in 4K 30fps to 720p 120 fps, the focal distance being 3.28 feet. Computer interface is micro USB 2.0, which transfers at about 1 megabyte a second. The external lens is a 37mm stand mount, and we have the dimensions, what's in the box, and that is pretty much it. So with all those claims in the listing, can this $500 4K camcorder from Wish deliver the goods? Let's take a look at it and find out. Also, I don't have the original box for this, but I did look up some reviews for this camera before I started recording, and the camera is basically just a white box that has a picture on it that says camera. That's pretty much it, so you're not missing out on much. Here is the bag, which just says DV cam on it, and that's it. But if we open this up, I have the lens cap. Interesting. Another lens cap. Interesting. And the price tag. This was $109 at Cash Converters. I got it for $90 because I only had just put it out, and I bought this back in November and I've just been holding on to it, but finally figured I may as well do a video on it, so here we are. In terms of accessories, that's pretty much it. That's all we have. So I've just put the bag to the side and we can focus on the camcorder. Now, when I first seen this, I thought this was a Sony one or something like that, you know, just a first glance at it. But then I seen the 4K Ultra HD, Wi-Fi, 48 megapixels, still image recording, and I went, oh boy, this is a cheapo one. This will be really interesting to test. The build is entirely plastic, of course. The only metal bits are actually the lenses, which I'll come back to. We do have a mount here for the microphone, which was included in the original package that I didn't get. We do have a plastic zoom switch here, as well as a photo button. At the back, we do have some LED indicators to let you know if it's charging and if it's recording, the video button, and if we pop open this little door here, we'll get to see the headphone jack, mini HDMI, and micro USB. Around the other side, we just have the handle, which is the digital video camera. That's it. The Full HD MC 0.39x super wide angle lens Japan optic. Yeah, well, I'm gonna come back to this very soon. 4K Ultra HD, there is the LEDs just there if you want to have the LEDs on more recording. At the bottom we have a standard tripod mount, and we just have a sticker that says DC and 5 volt, and if we just pop this door open, I've got a 16 gig standard SD card in there, but the battery itself is this one just here. Fits a CAS NP40. Not too sure if that's pinched off another camera. Now, before we power this thing on, I did mention in the listing there is no autofocus on this. Okay, you're seeing the 48 megapixel sensor, supposedly 48 megapixel. There's the infrared LEDs, and then we have the focal distance just there, as well as the 16 times powerful zoom. But yes, this sensor as it is right here, no autofocus. If you want to focus into an object, you have a macro lens. See, as it says on there, macro lens. So then you'd screw this macro lens onto there, and there you go, you've got a macro lens, so now you can sort of focus into objects. Or taking that off, you then screw this onto the ultra wide angle lens that's included as an optional accessory, and you just screw that on, and now you can record ultra wide angle videos and take ultra wide photos. $500, no autofocus, and you got to do that. For some people that may be okay, but to me that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But anyways, opening this thing up, reveals our 3-inch touchscreen, which shows it's a welcome. Yep, there you go. And prompting, low speed card, please replace. Doesn't matter, I've taken all the photos and videos already, so it all works. That's the interface of it. But we'll come back to that because at the side here we do have a speaker, the power on button, mode, menu, up and down. But pretty much I can do every function without the use of the remote control, which is good. Press this button twice, the LEDs come on, and they're fairly bright. Not really. But here we go, taking a look at the user interface of the camera. It's pretty basic, there's not a lot to do here, but you can use the touchscreen to go... There you go, to menu. The record resolution, 4K 30fps. There it all is there, 4K 30fps, 2.7K at 30fps. That's a bit of a random resolution, but alright. 1080p 60fps, 1080p 30fps, 720p 120fps, 60fps, and 30fps. White balance, exposure setting, metering mode, sharpness, which I've just left as middle, video quality at the highest standards of course, ISO I've left to auto, time watermark is off, record audio, turn on with a tick. Originally when I done the camera test with this said turn off with no tick, and I thought that meant to turn the audio off while recording if you selected it, but it turns out you gotta select it as turn on with the tick to record audio. It doesn't make sense, but just agree with it. Anyways, that's pretty much it for there. So if we go to settings, we've got image rotation, Wi-Fi information, reset Wi-Fi, light source frequency, LED indicator, auto screensaver, auto power off, button prompt, startup music, language, time format, time set, date set, format, device info. Actually, let's take a look at device info. Software version 3.2, and the update time is the 8th of the 5th, 2020. And there's also a factory reset. Also the annoying clicky buttons and the noise as well. If we then press mode, we get the options to do video, slowly, slow motion, loop, lapse, photo, and auto. I just used video, slowly, and photo. I didn't try the other functions, but if we go to slowly, the touchscreen's really iffy on this. It records in 1080p 4x, 1080p 2x, 720p 8x, or 720p 4x. Loop video just lets you record for a certain amount of time and then just loop it. Time lapse, I didn't use, but you can change the recording interval and all that sort of stuff. I didn't think this was important, so I didn't do this. And photo shows 48 megapixels. If we go to menu, it says pixel inset, which if we go to OK, you can see 48 megapixel, 30 megapixel, 24, 20, 12, 8, 5, 3. But that's pretty much the user interface of this. It's fairly basic. The touchscreen is very finicky. You're better off using the buttons or the remote control if you do have it, if you do happen to buy this. I had issues with the battery originally. When I was trying to charge this, it would only get to 1 bar, and then that was it. It wouldn't charge any further. I went to take it outside to record a video, and it would just die on me. So then I had to bring a power bank outside, have that connected to this, to then record video. That didn't work, so then I came inside and managed to charge the battery with one of these, one of my chargers, and I was able to do that, and somehow it now lasts. No idea how, but don't question it, it works. Now if you press power twice, you will toggle infrared mode and the LED flash mode. You can't toggle infrared mode with the wide angle lens, so you got to screw this, take that off. And there's the 3 LEDs just there. Even though you can't really see them, let me just take that off. There you go, you can see them just there. And if I turn the camera around, you can see just there that it kind of does work. And I'm happy to say the infrared mode actually does work quite well on this. Sometimes the lens doesn't go back on properly, so just screw it back on like that. There we go. And then pressing it again, you've got the LED. But if we press and hold up, that activates Wi-Fi, and we do have the Wi-Fi password and stuff, but once again, I've got to get the application for it. So I've downloaded the app onto my phone. It says connected without internet. If I go shoot, does it connect? Oh, there we go. Now if I just point the camera at all my collectibles, so the Wi-Fi setting does work, and you can go ahead and just take a photo and it does work. And you can even go to video mode as well, which says 4K 30fps, and do all the modes as well. But the thing is though with Wi-Fi is that you can only use this to take photos and record videos and then play them back. That's it. There's no other functionality that can be used with Wi-Fi. As far as I know, you can't use this to connect to YouTube to start streaming or anything like that. I haven't been able to figure out anything past that. I have a feeling you have to connect it to a computer in order for it to be used as a webcam to then start streaming on YouTube. You can't do it via Wi-Fi. So Wi-Fi is kind of pointless, but you can use it if you want to. So pretty much I went over the user interface, Wi-Fi, all that sort of stuff. I'm not going to connect this up to my computer, but I can tell you it does come up with webcam, mass storage, and all that sort of stuff. But once again, why would you want to use a $500 video camera as a webcam? Don't question it. But I think it's finally time to show you the very lengthy showcase of all the photos and videos that I've taken with the $500 Welcome 4K video camera, or camcorder, whichever one you want to call it. So as I said, this is going to be quite a lengthy segment, so sit back, relax, and just take in all the photos and videos that were captured using this camera, and after that we'll go over the quality of the 48 megapixels as well as the 4K video quality that this claims to do. We'll be back in a moment. Alright, so here we go, testing the Welcome digital camera at 720p 30fps. And unfortunately, just like the photos, we have no autofocus. That's what the lenses are used for. But this is 720p. This is what it looks like. Could this be the best Welcome camera out there? Maybe, possibly. And if we pan around, it does try and fix the exposure. Hopefully it's cutting out the wind. I guess that's why you're supposed to use the external mic that comes with this. 3 Muppets and 720p 30fps. All looking normal. Stabilization, well, there's obviously no stabilization, but because you're holding the camera the way it's meant to be, it's fairly stabilized. You've got the strap that goes around your hand, so everything is all good. Going down to Stuart, there he is there, looking fairly happy. Lonely Lemon, Lemon Tree, and a 10 times digital zoom, maybe? Could be more. Not too sure. There you go. That's 720p 30fps. Let's bump it up and keep going. 720p 60fps. It doesn't look like it's recording 720p 60fps on the camera at the moment, but I've already done some videos beforehand, and I can tell you that this actually does film in 60fps. However, quality-wise is very, well, questionable because there's no autofocus, nothing. It is a fixed lens, and there's not a lot we can really do. Just to, you know, give you a bit of an idea of what's going on here. But just take note of the quality now, and then when it gets to 4K, and see if there's any difference. Look at the clouds, man. That looks pretty cool. This is 720p 120fps, which I'm not too sure how that's going to look, but that gives you a bit of an idea of how smooth it is. 1080p 30fps with the Welcome digital camera. How does it look? I think it looks exactly the same as 720p 30fps, but they've just bumped up the resolution ever so slightly. I'll put the lenses on when I get to 4K, as that's the main feature of this. 1080p, 30fps, there's the 3 Muppets, looking good. Stabilization, exactly the same. Brick wall, fairly blurry. There's the wind, there's Stuart, there's the Lonely Lemon, Lemon Tree, and then a digital zoom to the faraway aircon if you can see. If it says breeze air, no, yeah, kinda, okay. Alright, 60fps time. There is Ripley. Hi, how you doing? Sorry, I'm outside again, but you know, I'll be back in soon. Anyways, recording at 1080p, 60fps with the Welcome digital camera. It looks like this. It does do 60fps, but the quality is very questionable. There we go, panning along for the 3 Muppets just there like so. And walking along, it still feels and looks exactly the same, except it's at 60fps now, and that's really about it. Stuart is looking happy, as he always does. Lonely Lemon, Lemon Tree, and the faraway aircon at 60fps, 1080p, that I've said 3 or 4 times already. There you go, right there. Okay, this is 2.7K at 30fps. Bit of a weird one to put on here, but sure, I'll just agree with it. There's a gust of wind, so we'll see if that cuts the wind out. Every single time I change the resolution, it just looks exactly the same on the screen. The quality and speed and everything like that, I don't know, it's the same. But I can tell you, it is doing something. But yeah, 2.7K at 30 FPS. Let's bump it up to the 4K 30 FPS, and I'll show you the lenses. Okay folks, here we go. The main feature of this device, 4K at 30 FPS with the welcome digital camcorder. And while you can be the judge, it looks exactly the same as 1080p and 720p with no autofocus or anything like that. And this is what it looks like. And I'll just go for a bit of a close-up to the three Muppets so you can get a good idea of the good 4K quality. The camera is starting to heat up ever so slightly, but it's not too bad. I'm doing a bunch of camera tests, so that's kind of expected. Stuart, how are you looking? Very, 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 very happy. Lonely Lemon, Lemon Tree at 4K. The sky, hey, where'd the clouds go? Oh, they're pissing off. Okay, fair enough. Oh, there they are. Digital zoom to the aircon, like so. Looks a little something like that. No, 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 no. We are not done. Well, you see, you now just screw this on, and now we have ultra wide. So, yep, there we go. Ultra wide, 4K 30 FPS. It makes a bit of a difference because it's basically just a lens that's ultra wide and makes it look like this. I get a decent field of view with this, but having to swap the lenses back and forth, if you want to do ultra wide and stuff, for the price, not a good idea. Screw off the ultra wide lens, and now if you put the camera about 5 centimeters away from an object, you can see quality. Look at that. This is with the macro lens on. But yeah, you kind of have to be about 5 centimeters away to make it look somewhat good. But look, it's professional now. See? Look at that. And the quality of the three Muppets, look at that. Festive, cheapo, and mushroom leg. And look, the brick wall in all its detail. Look at that. As I said, it's, 5 centimeters away, but you can see the quality. For a $300 video recorder that doesn't have autofocus, that's a pretty big red flag there, but that's what the lenses are for. Just use them and there you go. Alright, well, screw this back on. So now we're back to ultra wide, and now I'm going to do some nighttime shots with this, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, so this is a bit of a surprise for me. I've just come outside, it's night time, if you can kind of tell, and I've used the infrared night vision, and it actually works surprisingly well. I reviewed the AGM M3 or H3, I can't remember which one it was, and night vision didn't look anything like this, so this is actually really good. I'm actually really surprised at this. Is actually quite good. Even though we still don't have any autofocus, you've got to use the lenses once again. This is at 4K 30 FPS, and you can see where you're going. It is completely pitch black out here, and yep, there you go. Almost fell over. See, look at the lemon tree. Look at that. And then the faraway aircon. Can we see the faraway aircon? No. That's a no-go. That's night vision with this. That's pretty cool. So this is a bit random, but I'm outside doing the camera test, and there is this orange cat that has just decided to just randomly show up out of nowhere, and I have no idea where it has come from. Hi, and this is using the LED flash on this camera. Yo. Oh, you like your belly be rubbed too. Hi, random cat. I'm gonna call you Garfield. I think Garfield's a good name. I've been in this place for 5 years and I've never seen you before. Who are you? Who are you? Can I change to night vision mode while recording? I can. So while recording, I can just go straight to night vision mode. There you go. Hey buddy. I have another cat inside. Would you like to be its friend? Hey! Why do cats like their belly being rubbed? Oh, bye Garfield. Bye. Now my other cat's going to be mad at me. So yeah, this is with the flash on, and if we go up close to an object, you still can't really tell what it is, but at 4K 30 FPS and the cat's still following me around. Yeah, this is, look, it's okay. And the brick wall, there we go. And Stuart and Gnome, and random cat. And yeah, that's what the lemon tree looks like at night time. So you're better off using the infrared night vision to see that better. But yeah, there you go. That's that. I met a friend. Yeah, I met a friend. Look. Oh boy. What have I done? Who is that evil Kibby? You're gonna hate me now. Okay, you've just seen all the photos and videos that I've taken with this. And I can go through here to show you all the photos and videos that I took with it. So let's start off with photos. The photos captured with this are in 8000 by 6000, which is in fact 48 megapixels. The quality of the photos though, they're okay. They're not the greatest. The colors aren't too bad, but once again, there's no autofocus, so trying to take a couple of good photos with this proved to be pretty difficult. And because you can't adjust the focus or anything like that, you're stuck with a fixed lens, there's only so much that I could do. Now because it records in 8000 by 6000, which is in a 4:3 aspect ratio, if you put the ultra wide lens on, it does make everything ultra wide, but it's stuck in a 4:3 aspect ratio, and it doesn't really look that great. The macro lens does work if you are about this far away from an object. You can use the macro lens to get some good details, but apart from that, photo wise, 48 megapixels, I don't think it's a 48 megapixel sensor. I have a feeling it's interpolated to 48 megapixels. It's most likely maybe an 8 megapixel sensor inside of this that is producing 48 megapixel shots, but that's just an assumption at this point in time. We'd have to actually investigate and tear this down to have a better look at it. But as you can see, 8000 by 6000 is there, and even though it looks like it's 16 by 9 on this screen, the actual photos themselves turned out to be 4:3. But look, if we talk about the price again, you'd expect something really good for $500. The photos are okay, but they're definitely nothing to be absolutely blown away by. Now, photos with the flash and night vision didn't look too bad. That's night vision there, as you've seen in the photo segment. I only took a couple of them, but the night vision actually does work. It actually works better than the AGM H3 that I recently reviewed couple of months ago. I actually find this Welcome camera to be better than that in night vision. The LED flash, on the other hand, isn't really that great though. It definitely does brighten things up when everything's pitch black, but you're better off just using night vision mode because that just works a lot better. So that's something I can praise this camera for, is the night vision, and that goes for videos as well. Which you've seen in the videos, this can record 4K video, but the quality of the 4K video is not exactly the greatest at 30 FPS. It's a bit choppy and not really the best quality, but for the most part it will do. And the microphone quality on this isn't too bad. It's not the best, it will do, but the microphone that was actually included as an accessory is probably going to be a lot better than the inbuilt one, but I think you get the rough idea that it's not the greatest, but it will do. From 720p to 4K, I honestly can't really tell a difference. It looks the same to me anyways. So I have a feeling they've upscaled 720p to 4K. That could be just another assumption just there, but judging from the videos that I took with this, if I go from a 720p video to a 4K video, it kind of looks the same. I'll also say that 60 FPS doesn't look half bad with this, but once again, the video quality is just not up to par. And 720p 120 FPS looks the same as 60 FPS, I can't really tell a difference. But I think the best thing while doing the video test with this was that random orange cat showing up. Been here for 5 years, never seen it, just pops up out of nowhere. So you get to all see 2 cats within this video. That's a bit of a bonus. But it's finally good to see a Welcome product deliver. Okay, well, we just shut off and that's it. Okay, also one more thing about the battery is it displayed this message when the battery was almost dead, and I got a bit of a laugh out of it, so there you go. Hope you get a laugh out of it as well. It's good that this Welcome camera can record in 4K. It can record in 60 FPS, it can record slow motion video. You can do a lot with this, but for the Amazon price of $370 or the Wish price being $500, this is just not even worth it at all. As I said, most of you who are watching this video have a phone that's capable of recording in 4K and at a pretty decent quality. This just feels like 720p bumped up to 4K. That's pretty much it. If you want to go back over the videos and have a look at them, feel free. But if you're someone who's a content creator and want to start creating YouTube videos, you want to start with a good camera, definitely don't start off with something like this. While it's not a cheapo product, it's expensive, it is essentially a $50 camera that they've just bumped up to $370 because of all the accessories and stuff, it's just really not worth it. You're better off just using your phone in your pocket that does have autofocus, stick it onto a tripod, there you go, problem solved. So for anyone who wants to buy this camera, it's really hard to justify that $500, $400, whatever you want to call it at. Perhaps if you could find this secondhand and cheap, it may be an alright camera to start with, but having no focus adjustment or anything like that, you can record in 4K, but it's kind of pointless because you can't really focus in on anything and everything just kind of looks blurry and choppy and all that sort of stuff. I don't think it's really worth it, especially for the price. But we've gone over the photos, we've gone over the videos, we've gone over the functionality of this, so I think it's time to tear this down because I just want to see the sensor in this, and I'll just take this off once again to show you the sensor, which is right there. It's not that big of a sensor. I have a feeling it's just a smartphone one that they've plonked in there. But the only way we're going to find that out is if we tear this entire thing down and have a look at the guts. Now, if you do remember on the cheapo DSLR, that was a webcam sensor that they put in there. This thing's a bit more beefier, so it's a matter of how we get inside of this. Let's start the teardown. Now, I hope to have this all in one piece by the end of this video, but we'll see how we go. But I found 2 screws so far, so I'll just take these off. Alright, we've got some rubber pads to take off. Okay, we have some movement, so I can take this off now. Alright, here we go. So we do have the speaker, so I'll try and remove this. Okay, speaker's off. And then we have the LCD, which is just connected by a ribbon cable, which just comes out like so. And we can disconnect the touchscreen assembly. Now we can get a better look at the innards of this. So if we just remove this, which seems to be some sort of cooling for the processor in this appears to be a nothing. There's nothing written on the processor that's cooled by this little piece of metal here. We'll just ignore that. We do have a Samsung module just in there for the internal memory, I would say, which the internal memory is not a lot at all because you can't use this without an SD card being in it already. I'll just lift off this little ribbon cable here. This is for the camera, but I have a feeling we have to go a little deeper. So let me take off one screw that holds this board down. Those two there, my bad too. I found more screws. Sorry, I've had to turn my fan on because it's kind of getting a little bit warm in here at the moment, but I've got the board out. So that there is something. Okay, I've got a connector just there for the top buttons and stuff like so, which just connect in like that. And I kind of figured out why it's a bit heavy, because there's a metal weight in there. That's the whole assembly there for the battery and all that sort of thing. The slider for the zoom as well. I definitely know that I've pulled this apart the wrong way, but whatever works to get inside of it. I've been prying at this thing for the last 10 minutes. I completely forgot there might have been screws under here. Well, fix that problem. This is going to be much easier to take apart now. My bad. Okay. Well, that just broke off. I don't think this is going to go back together, so I'll just put that there. We're getting closer. We did it. That was a nightmare. Okay, so we're almost at the sensor, which is just here. Alrighty, so we've got a couple of screws to take off. Alright, so that is the lens, and that is the sensor right there, which does have a code on it, just like so. If you want to pause there and take a look at that code, that is what that is. That's all it is. I mean, it's a fairly big sensor, I suppose. It's definitely not a webcam sensor. There's one thing left, though. To add quality to this unit, they've put this in here. So if I just pull this bit of plastic off, they've stuck a considerably heavy weight in here to give this camera, well, some weight. Otherwise, it's just a very bare plastic shell. But you know what? I'm going to reassemble this without the weight in here, because this is actually, like, it's heavy. So this is the $300 piece of metal that you're paying for in this. Quite surprising. But anyways, that is the teardown of this camera. I'm going to go ahead and put this back together, and we'll see if it works. But yeah, that's our sensor. Nothing really too spectacular in this one, unfortunately, but I'll Google this code and see if it comes up with anything, and I'll let you all know. I'm going to have to do this off camera. This is going to be real fun. I left the warranty sticker out of there. That's okay. It's back together. However, I've unfortunately killed the infrared LEDs as well as the speaker. Powering it on results in it just doing that. But everything else still works as far as I can tell, and it's just, it weighs nothing now because this metal weight was what was making this heavy. But if I put the lenses on here like so, that adds a bit of weight to it if they even still go on there. Yeah, there they do. There we go. Cool. Now it's looking professional again, and it all still kind of works. So that was very difficult to take apart and stuff, and yeah, the wires for the infrared LEDs and the wire for the speaker just aren't soldered onto the board, so I could probably get someone to fix that for me. And I googled the code that was on the camera module, and I cannot find anything about it. So if you want to Google that, and I'll list all the other codes that I did find within this during editing, so if you want to have a look at them and see if you can find out the true sensor size, because I don't think it'd be a 48 megapixel one. It is a fairly big sensor, but I don't think it's 48 megapixels, but we'll have to do a bit of digging because that code that was on there just doesn't come up with anything, unfortunately. That is the welcome 4K $400 to $500 video camera that can be picked up on Wish or Amazon or eBay with a bunch of accessories. That's just not really good value whatsoever. Just feels like it's been slapped together and does 4K. Very questionable about the 4K quality, but it does 4K. So don't be fooled into thinking this is a premium camera. If you do find this on Amazon, eBay, etc., it's nothing more than a $50 to $100 camera that's shoved into a cheap case, doesn't offer autofocus, battery life is terrible, and lenses that you can screw on to do different functions. That's pretty much it. As I said several times during this video, just stick with your smartphone if you're going to start off doing basic videos and photos. Now it's a matter of what I can do with this metal weight. Maybe I should make a weapon or something out of it. It's quite hefty. Why keep it laying around just in case? You never know. But that is it for this one. I think I've covered everything I need to cover on this. And now I pretty much know that this was just a camera test in a really, really long video, but that's really all I could do with this. That's the whole point of this, was to just take photos and take videos. That's what I've done. But if you want to see another one, I do have this one here, which is pretty much the same thing, I would say. I think it's a 20 megapixel or something. That sensor in there does not look good, but once again, it's got the digital high definition super wide angle lens, the macro and all that sort of stuff. And the best thing is as well, is that this still does work, and of course, it's a welcome camera, which that also flips up too. And you can spin that around. 24 megapixels this one is. So if you do want to see this, let me know, and I'm more than happy to cover this at one point in time. But I just wanted to cover this one today, and it's already taken far more longer than I anticipated, but at least it's done. Anyways, everyone, that's going to do it for this one. This is the last video of 2021, if I can get this out in time before 2021 is over. 2021 has been a hell of a year. And I mean hell as in literal hell for everybody. I hope 2022 is going to be a lot better for everybody, and I'm looking forward to seeing what I do in 2022. Hopefully I'll spice up the content a little bit and try to do some other stuff, but we'll see when we get there. Otherwise, if you made it to the end of the video, thank you very much for that. I appreciate it, and if you didn't, that's okay. That's why the timestamps are in the description, because you can skip along to wherever you want to. If you've just seen this camera online, want to see what the photos and videos are like, the camera test is there. You can have a look at that. But I've pretty much went over everything I can with this, but if I have missed anything, feel free to let me know down in the comments below, and I'm more than happy to let you know about this camera if you have any questions about it, but it is what it is. I don't think I need to say much more about it. Thank you so much for watching this video, I really do appreciate it, and thank you for all the support during the last year as well. It's really been great, and all the opportunities that I've been given for this channel, so I hope to continue it on within 2022 and beyond. And I was going to do a channel update video, but I don't think I really need to. We'll just continue on like 2021 never happened. I think that's the best for everyone, to be fairly honest. But alright, enough rambling. Take care everyone, stay safe, be good people, have a good new year, and I'll see you in 2022. Thanks for watching, see you then. If you like this content, feel free to leave a like or a dislike if you didn't. Thanks heaps for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.